Hello, my friends. This is Cinema Magic. Now, let's take a few seconds to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to ensure you get our future recaps. Today, we are recapping the movie Split 2016, as written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. The movie opens in the suburbs of Philadelphia, where three teenage girls, Casey Cook, Claire Benoit, and Marcia, leave a birthday party. As they wait for Claire's father to pick them up, an unsuspecting man, later revealed to be Kevin Wendell Crumb, approaches their car and incapacitates the driver, abducting the three girls. The girls wake up in a small, locked room, disoriented and confused. They soon realize they are prisoners of their abductor, Kevin, a man with a distinct dissociative identity disorder, DID, often referred to as split personality. Kevin exhibits 23 different personalities, each with unique mannerisms, behaviors, and even physiological attributes. The girls initially encounter Dennis, one of Kevin's dominant personalities, a man with obsessive-compulsive tendencies and a disturbing interest in young girls. Dennis enforces strict rules and maintains a rigid schedule in their confined space. Another personality, Patricia, surfaces, a prim and proper woman who claims to work for the Beast, a mysterious entity that the other personalities seem to fear and revere. As the days pass, the girls witness the abrupt shifts in Kevin's personality, struggling to predict and adapt to the changes. They encounter Hedwig, a playful, childlike personality who seems more amenable to their escape attempts. However, Hedwig is also subservient to Dennis and Patricia, hindering any real chance of freedom. Meanwhile, Dr. Karen Fletcher, Kevin's dedicated psychiatrist, becomes increasingly concerned about his recent behavior. She suspects that a new, dangerous personality might be emerging, one she refers to as the Beast. Dr. Fletcher notices the inconsistencies in Kevin's appointments, the cryptic messages left on her answering machine, and the growing signs of internal conflict within him. Casey, who experiences frequent exclusion from her peers, develops an unlikely bond with Hedwig while they are in captivity. She uses his childlike curiosity to gather information about Kevin's condition and the layout of their prison. Casey's survival instincts and resourcefulness kick in, and she devises a plan to exploit the differences between Kevin's personalities to their advantage. While Dennis and Patricia maintain a facade of control, Hedwig inadvertently reveals that their location is a secluded underground facility. Casey and Marcia take advantage of the situation and attempt to flee through an air vent, but Dennis cruelly reprimands them for their disobedience. In a therapy session, Dr. Fletcher confronts Kevin about the inconsistencies in his behavior and the disturbing changes she has observed. She cautiously inquires about the Beast, but Kevin becomes agitated and defensive, denying its existence. However, Dr. Fletcher's intuition tells her that there is more to Kevin's condition than he is willing to reveal. As tension rises both inside and outside their prison, Casey, Claire, and Marcia brace themselves for a final confrontation with their captor. The fate of the girls hangs in the balance as the elusive and menacing Beast draws closer to surfacing, threatening to unleash a wave of chaos and terror. The Beast, Kevin's most terrifying and animalistic personality, finally emerges, exhibiting superhuman strength and agility. He breaks free from the confines of the locked room and begins to terrorize the girls. The Beast demonstrates incredible physical abilities, scaling walls and contorting his body in unnatural ways. The girls scatter in fear, each desperately trying to find a way out of the underground facility. The Beast grabs Claire and drags her away, her screams resonating through the tunnels. Meanwhile, Casey and Marcia stumble upon a storage room filled with tools and equipment. They arm themselves with whatever they can find, preparing for a potential confrontation. As the Beast stalks the facility, Dr. Fletcher continues her investigation into Kevin's fractured psyche. She reviews old case files and video recordings of Kevin's therapy sessions, searching for clues about the Beast's origins and motivations. She discovers a pattern of trauma and abuse in Kevin's childhood, which may have triggered the development of his multiple personalities. Dr. Fletcher reaches out to Barry, a friend of Kevin's who is aware of his DID. Barry confirms Dr. Fletcher's suspicions about the existence of the Beast and expresses deep concern for Kevin's well-being. He recounts past incidents where Kevin exhibited violent tendencies and a disturbing fascination with animalistic behavior. Marcia makes a valiant attempt to escape the facility, but the Beast quickly apprehends her. Casey, now alone and terrified, hides in a crawl space, hoping to remain undetected. She overhears the beast talking to himself, revealing his belief that those who are broken, those who have suffered great pain, are worthy of his attention. Marcia makes a valiant attempt to escape the facility, but the beast quickly apprehends her, can cause any more harm. Dennis, who appears to be Kevin and denies having any knowledge of the beast, greets her. Dr. Fletcher senses something is amiss and tries to probe deeper, but Dennis becomes increasingly agitated and defensive. Meanwhile, Casey discovers Claire's lifeless body, realizing the full extent of the beast's brutality. Grief-stricken and filled with rage, she resolves to fight back and escape, determined to bring Kevin to justice for his crimes. As Dr. Fletcher continues her conversation with Dennis, she notices subtle changes in his demeanor and speech patterns, suggesting that other personalities are trying to surface. She cautiously mentions the beast, which triggers a violent reaction from Dennis. He lunges at Dr. Fletcher, but she manages to fend him off and escape the house. Realizing that the beast is now in control, Dr. Fletcher frantically calls the police, warning them about the imminent danger. However, she knows that time is running out and that the girls' lives are hanging in the balance. Dr. Fletcher's frantic call alerts the police, who show up at Kevin's house. They cautiously enter, searching for any sign of the missing girls or Kevin himself. While this is going on, Casey enters the facility, equips herself with a makeshift weapon, and sets out to find the beast. The police find the house empty, but they discover Dr. Fletcher's abandoned car and a trail of blood leading to the basement door. They carefully descend into the underground facility, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Casey wanders through the labyrinthine tunnels, her heart pounding in her chest. She stumbles upon a makeshift shrine where the beast has displayed the bodies of his victims. The sight fills her with horror and disgust, but it also strengthens her resolve to escape and expose Kevin's crimes. The police split up, their radios crackling with updates and warnings. They find the bodies of Claire and Marcia, confirming their worst fears. The horrific scene frightens the officers, but they continue searching for Casey and trying to capture the beast. Casey hears the sound of footsteps approaching and quickly hides in a nearby room. She peeks through a crack in the door and sees the beast, his eyes glowing in the dim light. He mutters to himself about the unbroken and their special purpose in the world. The beast suddenly turns and charges towards the door, sensing Casey's presence. She barely manages to dodge his attack, scrambling to find another hiding place. The beast tears through the room, throwing furniture and smashing objects in his fury. The police officers converge on the sound of the commotion, their guns drawn. They spot the beast and order him to surrender, but he ignores their commands and continues his rampage. A tense standoff ensues, with the officers exchanging gunfire with the beast. Casey, taking advantage of this distraction, makes a run for the exit. She races through the tunnels, her lungs burning and her legs aching. She can hear the gunfire behind her, but she doesn't dare look back. The beast, wounded but not deterred, pursues Casey, his movements swift and unpredictable. He leaps over obstacles and squeezes through narrow openings, his animalistic instincts guiding him towards his prey. When Casey reaches a dead end, a metal gate blocks her way. She frantically searches for a way out, her desperation growing with each passing second. The beast closes in, his claws extended and his teeth bared. As the beast lunges towards Casey, she spots a loose panel in the metal gate. With a surge of adrenaline, she pries it open just enough to squeeze through. She scrambles to her feet and continues running, her heart pounding in her chest. The beast, enraged by Casey's escape, tears through the gate, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. The police officers, still engaged in a shootout with him, try to keep up, but they are no match for his speed and agility. Casey stumbles upon a hidden elevator, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. She presses the button and the doors slowly open. She jumps inside and slams the button for the ground floor, praying that it will take her to safety. The beast reaches the elevator shaft just as the doors close. He roars in frustration, his claws scraping against the metal. Casey watches in horror as the elevator ascends, the sound of the beast's rage echoing from below. If you are following along, do take a second to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment so we know you love this. Now, let's continue. The elevator reaches the ground floor, and Casey bursts out, her eyes scanning the area for any sign of help. She spots a window and throws it open, climbing out onto the street. She flags down a passing car and begs the driver to take her to the police station. The driver, a kind stranger, agrees and speeds away, leaving the beast trapped in the underground facility. The police officers, exhausted and wounded, finally manage to subdue the beast with tranquilizer darts. They secure him in a straitjacket and transport him to a psychiatric hospital for evaluation. Casey, safe at the police station, recounts her harrowing ordeal to the detectives. She describes Kevin's different personalities and the emergence of the beast. The detectives, shocked and disturbed by her story, promise to do everything they can to bring Kevin to justice. Dr. Fletcher arrives at the hospital and is briefed on the situation. She examines Kevin, who is now back to his docile personality of Barry. She tries to communicate with him, but he seems disoriented and confused. Dr. Fletcher then requests to see the beast, convinced that she can reason with him and help him understand the harm he has caused. The hospital staff are hesitant, but they eventually agree to let her try. Dr. Fletcher enters the beast's isolation chamber, armed only with her words and her empathy. She speaks to him calmly and respectfully, acknowledging his pain and anger. She tries to connect with the wounded child within him, the one who suffered so much trauma and abuse. At first, the beast is resistant, snarling and lashing out, but Dr. Fletcher persists, her voice unwavering. She reminds him of his other personalities, of the good that still exists within him. She tells him that he is not a monster, but a human being who needs help. Slowly, the beast begins to calm down. He listens to Dr. Fletcher's words, his eyes softening. He lowers his head and whispers, "Kevin." Dr. Fletcher sees a flicker of recognition in the beast's eyes as he utters, "Kevin." Hopeful, she continues to speak to him gently, trying to coax out more of Kevin's core personality. The beast seems to struggle internally, with different personalities vying for control. Finally, he transforms into a scared and confused Kevin, remembering nothing of his time as the beast. The police arrive to take Kevin into custody, but Dr. Fletcher insists on accompanying him to ensure his safety and well-being. She promises to continue her treatment and help him integrate his fractured personalities. Meanwhile, Casey is reunited with her father, who is relieved to find her alive. He apologizes for not being there for her and promises to be a better parent in the future. Casey, though traumatized by her experience, shows remarkable resilience. She has faced her fears and survived a horrific ordeal. She has learned the importance of self-reliance and the power of the human spirit. News of the incident spreads, and the public is shocked and fascinated by the story of Kevin Wendell Crumb and his 23 personalities. Dr. Fletcher becomes a sought-after expert on DID, giving lectures and interviews to raise awareness about the condition. Sometime later, Dr. Fletcher receives a package from Kevin containing a thank you note and a drawing of a butterfly. The butterfly, a symbol of transformation and hope, represents Kevin's journey towards healing and integration. His gesture touches Dr. Fletcher, who promises to keep assisting him in his recovery. In the final scene, two women at a diner discuss the news of the kidnapping and the beast. One of the women mentions a similar case years ago involving a wheelchair-bound man who terrorized people on a train. The other woman, intrigued, asks for the man's name. The first woman replies, "They called him the Horde." This revelation connects the events of Split to the movie Unbreakable, suggesting a shared universe and a larger narrative at play. As the credits roll, viewers are left with a lingering sense of unease and wonder. The story of Kevin Wendell Crumb, the Horde, and the mysterious connection to Unbreakable. In the end, Split is not just a story about a man with DID, but a tale of survival, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. It challenges our understanding of identity, trauma, and the capacity for both good and evil within us all. It is a haunting and thought-provoking film that lingers in the mind long after the credits have rolled. So I hope you guys like it. Which scene scared you the most? Was there a plot twist that surprised you? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.